This is CJ Carter, and this is my Brit Rest journey.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Wavy Boy Johnson here.
This is the professional Nathan Cruz.
Yo, this is man like Darius.
Hi, this is Tom Thurber.
This is Benji.
This is the Asian sensation Kanji.
This is the Nightmare Fuel Hustle Malone.
This is Joe Rage, the Heavyweight Classic.
This is Mad Dog, O'Doherty.
This is Tonga.
I'm the Breaker, Carl Kingsley.
This is the infamous Cameron Solis, and you're listening
to
Broken but Glorious.
Broken but Glorious.
To Broken but Glorious podcast, because like me, you are head to toe a pro.
Hello and welcome to my Brit Rest journey on bbgwrestling.com. I'm Chris Lappin. I'm delighted to be joined on the line by CJ Carter. How you doing this evening, CJ?
Hey, yeah, I'm good. Hello to everyone listening. I'm just, getting ready for a show tomorrow. First show, second show of the year back. Yeah.
So are you wrestling?
So it's going to be for RCWA. It's quite a big one for them actually, because they've got Will Ospreay coming back over. He hasn't wrestled for them for probably 3 years plus now. So, it's a pretty big deal to have him back. There's actually, he actually started the promotion himself. So it's got a lot of history to it. And they've sold it out, and he's wrestling Paul Robinson, which is obviously his, childhood friend. And they've got, Swords of Essex, tag team champions, two of the best wrestlers in the world, I'd say anyway. So regardless of all of that, main event, they've sold out. So it's a pretty big show for them. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm good, and I'm just looking forward to that, to be honest.
That sounds amazing. I have seen on Instagram and Twitter them sending videos and promos about the match. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're building it up. They're building it up quite big online, and so they should. It's a big match.
Cool. Are you facing?
Yeah. So I'm in a four-way for the Elite One Championship, which is like their kind of X division, or I guess you could say cruiserweight division type title. So current champion is MOS there, who's kind of long-term RCWA wrestler, been there since pretty much day one. Yeah. And Joe Lando as well.
Oh, please.
Yeah, Lando's, personally as a fan, one of my favourite wrestlers to watch right now. So.
I've only ever seen him once.
He's
a wrestler. He wasn't a tag.
I can't say enough good things about him. One of the best in the country right now. He's the best flyer, for sure, up there. And then Murdoch is the other person in the match, who's kind of a newer guy. He's kind of just establishing himself at the moment. So
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So Jay, I can't remember the name of the tag team. Jay Lando, was it something Adrenaline or I can't remember.
So, what was that?
The tag team Jay Lando was it? Harrison Bourne.
Yeah, Air to Air back in the day.
Air to Air, that might be. Yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
But he's been doing his own thing for a while now, and making a name for himself, and doing very well for himself as well, actually.
Thinking about it, was probably about 2018. I saw it.
Yeah, the thing is, because we've had COVID and lockdown in the middle, you forget how long ago some stuff was, right?
Yeah, so definitely.
You think, that was only last year, but actually, no, it was like, 3, 4, well, actually, yeah, like 4 years ago. Is that right? How was 2018 4 years ago?
Yeah,
how is that? My brain can't even comprehend that. But,
no, I still have to. I think, I don't know. It's probably the first year I'm struggling to go from 2021 to 2022 when I'm writing things. I don't know. I don't know why I'm struggling.
I know. I still think we're in 2020, and it's just like it's mad. But yeah.
I'm one of them people who still thinks that 1990 was 20 years ago when it's really 30 years ago.
No, don't get me started on that. I wrestle with people now that were born post the millennium, which I just find insane. I can't get my head around that. I just can't get. I'm going to be 35 this month, so I guess by wrestling standards, you'd say
you're hitting your prime.
Well, you can say. I'll take that in my prime. I'm getting on a bit, but yeah, in my prime, I'll have that. But and you wrestle with a lot of people who are in their early 20s, and even 18, 19. Callum Newman is 19. He's one of the best wrestlers in the country. And
it's this crop of wrestlers going through now. I can't wait 4 or 5 years just to see how good they're going to be. But
yeah, it's going to be insane. I mean, they're already so talented, so I can't imagine what they'll be like by the time they're 25, and that's still 10 years younger than me. So, but yeah,
because got the up north, got the likes of like Tom Farewell, and you got the Young Guns and
Tom Farewell. Yeah, he's someone who I respect a lot and think is great. And I'm actually going to wrestle him soon at Art of Combat. So I'm really looking forward to that because he's got a real buzz about him at the moment. And
he's only 18 or 19. I'm sure he's
something like that. Yeah.
I can't remember when I interviewed him. He was just turning 18, or was he still 17?
Yeah, you've got that whole crop of people, haven't you? Like with Ethan Allen as well, and it's and Joe Nelson who's doing.
Oh, Joe Nelson,
yeah,
kid like us too.
Exactly like us too. Yeah, and they're so young, but they're so good. They're so good already, and it's I didn't even have my first professional match on a show until I was 21, 22, early 20s. Yeah. So, oh God, yeah. So, it's crazy. It's crazy to think.
Definitely. So, how's your return to the ring post lockdown?
I was a bit crazy, to be honest. It was quite hard to adapt from so long off, and then coming back and just going 100 miles an hour again. And it was actually it seemed to be way busier the second half of this year, so maybe from like August, September time than it would usually be. Yeah. It just because he had everyone starting their year at the same time, and everyone kind of wanted to get going. I had a few shows in July, but not that many. A little bit more in August, but then September and in October it just ramped up big time. And I think October was actually my busiest year of my entire career. So, and so I think it was 11 shows I had that month.
Wow.
It was pretty full on.
Was October when you won the Adrenaline Championship?
I think that was a bit earlier than that. Maybe it was October. Maybe you're right. God, like it just feels like it does feel like a blur, to be honest. I feel like it might have been. No, there were two. I think there was 2 DOA shows in October actually. So I think you're right.
I think it up here. November. Yeah. November, you won it.
Was it November?
Beginning of November. Yeah, there's a.
Oh my goodness. That feels. This is what I mean. It was just so many shows in October, November, December that it's just a blur. It's just a complete blur.
You won it on the 6th of November. You defended it on the 27th.
There you go. So it was November. There was 2. Yeah. There was 2 DOA shows. There you go. But yeah,
it's a cotton's cage match, so the information's
well, no, I'll take their word for it. But, yeah, and I've really enjoyed. In fact, I made my DOA debut coming out of lockdown last year, and that's something that I really enjoyed. Actually, that's something that's been great. A place that I'm really liking to wrestle for at the moment, and they, especially their Great Yarmouth shows, they've got some amazing fans.
Yes.
So. That's been a great kind of positive coming out of lockdown.
It's one of those where I would love to do like a mini tour of the UK and go to all these promotions like east and south, because I'm very northwest based, bit of North Wales. But yeah, I need to broaden my horizons and get to like.
Yeah, it's a lot of travelling though, isn't it? That's the only thing. I get why it's hard. I'd like to be up seeing more shows up north, but it's just the travelling. I already do so much travelling for the shows I'm on. So yeah, I get it. But there are some great promotions down this way and out in east of the country. I'd love to go. I'd love to go to north. I'd love to go to BWR, DOA, Sacrifice, Hope, Future, on that area. Let's say it doesn't help that I can't drive as well. They'll be on the train. That's a little bit of a stumble.
So I'm guessing you had these 18 months off. You had time to rest your body, evaluate what kind of worked well, what hasn't worked well over the last couple of years. Or have you made any tweaks to your character or to your movesets now you've returned?
Yeah, I mean, I did do quite a lot of thinking about what was working, what wasn't working, what I could change generally. I kind of felt like I needed the break. Actually, it came at a good time for me. I've been running quite hard just before that, and it just sort of like 2019 into early 2020 was probably the most kind of successful period of my career to that point in terms of the amount of bookings I was getting, and the kind of level of promotion I was starting to work for, and the kind of position on the card I was getting put on those shows. But I was, I was starting to pick up quite a few injuries. I think, maybe my age has something to do with that, maybe my style, because I wrestle quite a high impact style. And so, I've got 2 herniated discs in my lower back, which was causing me a lot of problems. It kind of flared up quite bad in the summer of 2019. And took about 6 weeks off, but it wasn't really enough. And so I was just trying to get through that. And so it came at a good time. And so what I tried to do, what I wanted to do in that time of more than anything was really focus on my body. And so what I did was I changed my kind of diet. I changed my workout. I worked a lot on just getting lean and trying to get in better shape, and doing a lot of yoga and stretching, and kind of I started to think, right, how can I stretch out my career for as long as I can, and what do I maybe need to change in my moveset? And I guess it's starting to become a bit more of a question of what moves do I do and when, and maybe not doing all of the high impact moves every single match, and
definitely
saving those for certain matches, and so that's what I tried to think about, and what I've tried to do a little bit coming out of lockdown. And then in terms of my character, I had tried to change that quite a lot, even leading into lockdown, and coming out of it, I'm trying to change it a little bit more even so. Because when I first started the CJ Carter character with the Pure Evil moniker, I was doing full face paint, and it was kind of like kind of almost like a comic book character type thing, if that makes sense. It was very heavy on the gimmick. It was very heavy on the dark, mysterious, evil, and that works for some promotions, and that works for a lot of family shows. But it was too much for a lot of promotions. It was too gimmicky. I leaned into that side of it, I think, too much. And so what I tried to do over the months and years and leading up to lockdown, so 2018, 19, and then into 2020 was rein it in a little bit and try and make it a bit more real and a bit more me. The character was based on real ideas and thoughts in my head initially. The idea was that I took some time off of wrestling, and I went through quite a dark period in my life, and what I tried to do was just to tap into that a little bit and create a character out of that. Yeah. And that's where the kind of dark, evil character came from. It was kind of a way of getting across some of my frustrations and kind of the dark times in my life into a character. But I think when I went too far with it, it went too gimmicky. So I tried to rein that in a little bit, and that's where I started doing the half face paint. And I wanted to bring some of me out in it as well. I wanted to bring some of, the real human out in it. And the idea with the character was to become, it's almost like a Two-Face type thing. It's a normal person, it's a wrestler, but there's this darker side to him that can come out. Yeah,
that sounds great.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go with it. And then coming out of lockdown, I've tried to rein it in even a little bit more. So there's a little bit less face paint now. It's more just centered around, annoyingly, it's kind of a similar thing to what Malachi Black's been doing in AEW, but I was trying to do it first. But hey, he's obviously doing it on a much bigger scale and doing it probably way better than me. But the idea is that like the face paint or the makeup now is on one eye, and that's where the kind of dark side is coming from. That's where I can tap into that more evil side. But there's actually, on the face of it, I'm a real wrestler, and I'm a real person, and I want that to come across as well. So that's what I'm trying to get across in my promos now and in the ring. And that's why I am slowly trying to drop that pure evil thing
But if the story ever came up where you're having a losing streak or you couldn't beat this person, you could do, and it's very similar to when Finn Balor brings the demon out, but you could bring the pro evil character out.
100%, absolutely, and I've done that. I did do that. I feel like I think it was February 2020. I wrestled Charles Crowley for UBW.
Yes. Yeah, I watched that match the other day. Yeah,
yeah, and I'd been doing the half face paint for about a year previous to that, and kind of I was just in the process of trying to rein it in a little bit and make it more realistic and more me, you know. And then because we had this long-standing feud that'd been going on for about a year and a half there, and it was for the title, it was a big deal. And he was calling me out and saying I'm not the same CJ Carr. I brought back the pure evil kind of character for that match with the full face paint that came out in the coffin and stuff. So yeah, totally 100%. That's where I see, you know, and I guess very much like the demon character for Finn Balor, you know, I want people to see that I'm a real person and I can go out there and I can wrestle as well as just be a gimmick, but I can tap into that when I need to. And if the occasion calls for it, if the story calls for it, the match calls for it, then yeah, I can bring out that full character.
I'm the Breaker, Kyle Kingsley, and you're listening to Broken But Glorious.
Take it way back. So who was your favourite wrestler growing up?
Oh, my favourite wrestler growing up, I guess over my age periods, it changed slightly. My favourite wrestler now is Ric Flair. My favourite wrestler growing up was Shawn Michaels. So I'd say they're very much side by side. Like they're my two favourite wrestlers of all time. But growing up, it was Shawn Michaels for sure.
Yes.
I didn't really get that familiar with Ric Flair until I got a bit older and I started to go back and, you know, watch the older stuff, get the DVDs.
I hate Ric Flair growing up. So.
I saw his stuff and I liked some of his stuff, but it wasn't like now. He's just, for me, he's the greatest wrestler.
Yeah, he's great. He's growing on me as I got older. So I was a huge Macho Man fan, so I started watching it around WrestleMania 8 when it was Macho Man versus Ric Flair, and I just hated it.
I love that. That was for me. That was the first WrestleMania I watched as well. It was in '92. Yeah. The first one I remember watching anyway, for sure.
I was allowed to stay up and watch it. I was only 10, so stay up and watching the WrestleMania. I was like,
And I remember that match. And that was my kind of introduction to Flair there, to be honest. And I remember I loved the fact that he was bleeding so much and had bleached blonde hair and blood went all into his hair. Yeah. I just thought that was great.
Yeah.
But I also, I mean, in my really younger days, like if we're talking sort of like 4 or 5, you know, maybe 6. I obviously liked Hogan as a really small child. Who didn't, right? So. I was always a WWF fan growing up initially, and so Hogan was kind of the guy initially, but he kind of left as I started to hit 5, 6. He left, so and that's where I kind of I found Shawn Michaels, and from then on I just loved Shawn Michaels, and I still do. I mean, certainly 1B alongside Ric Flair, who's 1A for me. So yeah.
So what prompted you to don the tights and get into the ring yourself? So.
I've always been a wrestling fan. I literally can't remember a time where I wasn't. You know, I have pictures of me sitting on the sofa with my dad watching TV. He's got the wrestling on the TV, and that was probably like 1991 sometime. So I would have been 3 years old at the time. And you know, for as long as I can remember back, so 4 or 5 years old, I'm just watching wrestling. That's all I did. I was obsessed with it, and it's all I wanted to do. It's all I wanted to do. You know, I remember telling my parents when I was very young, I just want to be a wrestler. That's all I want to be. And you know, you got this. You know, my mum would say, "Don't be so ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. You'll never be able to be a wrestler." It's, you know, because I guess at the time they just thought, oh, wrestling is Hulk Hogan or it's Macho Man Randy Savage or, you know, regular normal people, especially in England at the time. You just don't do that. There wasn't really a lot of places to go anyway. So when I got old enough,
the 2010s, there can't have been that many wrestling schools about, I'm guessing.
Well, no, I started training in 2003. So, but I actually got quite a bad injury in training and thought I probably wouldn't actually end up wrestling because it was so bad. So when I was old enough, when I was in my teens, sort of like 14, 15 years old, I was like, right, I want to do this. And I looked everywhere for a wrestling school and struggled to find places. There was Hammerlock, which was down in Kent. which is, and I didn't drive. Obviously, I was too young. My parents didn't drive. So, and then I found there was an FWA training school in London. So I started going there. And then I found Dropkicks, which was in Essex. And so I moved out and started training there. And then, when I was 17 or 18, I managed to, during training, I blew my ACL quite bad.
Wow. Yeah.
And I had to have reconstructive surgery on my knee, and I was set. Doctors are like, they were like, you definitely shouldn't wrestle again. And so I considered maybe not doing it at that point, and regardless, it took me about 2 years to kind of get over that injury anyway. But but then when I hit my early 20s, I was like, you know what? That was in the 2010s. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for this. And if it turns out that my knee can't take it, then fine. But I'll never know unless I try it. And I would regret. I would regret for the rest of my life if I just gave up because I had one bad injury when I was like 18. So yeah.
Oh, amazing. So was Shawn Michaels who you wanted to mold your style around when you started training?
I'd say Shawn Michaels, and by that point probably Chris Jericho as well, were two people that I was really trying to mold my style around when I first started.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And as I got older, I became a big Chris Jericho fan, and that's kind of like I see that style as my kind of style. Even now to this day, characters are very different, obviously, but that is definitely the style that I go for. It's high flying to a degree. But it's not like crazy, shooting star presses and stuff. But,
no.
but with some heavyweight moves in there, even though they're smaller guys, Jericho kind of started as a cruiserweight, but wrestled a lot like a heavyweight. And another person, two other people I try to model my style on a little bit: Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit as well. So
I can see that.
Yeah, like that kind of intensity that they have in everything they do, and I guess a similar size in height anyway. I'm not as big as them, but similar size and height. And then as I got older and into the business myself from wrestling and became more familiar with the British scene, I started to look at people like Mark Haskins, for example. So I
saw him wrestle live for the first time a couple of weeks ago as well.
Oh, he's brilliant, and I've always been a big fan of Haskins, and that's another person who I kind of look at and I mold myself on a little bit. So yeah.
Did you have an idea of a character, or what was CJ version 1 like?
Oh, even before my debut, you mean? Early days?
Yeah. What was your first?
Yeah. I guess right out the gate, I didn't have a clue. I just wanted to wrestle, and I was just happy to be in the ring. And to be honest, actually, I was never really a character person or a gimmick person. Like I didn't like the Undertaker growing up, and I liked wrestlers. That's why I like Shawn Michaels. I like Bret Hart. I like Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Jericho. I like wrestlers, and that's what I just wanted to be a wrestler. I didn't care. I was like, do I have to have a gimmick? Why do I have to have a gimmick? Like, can't I just be Chris Gladden, go in there and wrestle? Can't but it does help to have a character. And initially, I remember my first match. The promoter said to me, "So what do you want to be called?" And I was like, I don't know. And you can be Chris Awesome. And out I went. Chris Awesome. That was my debut because I didn't know what to call myself, and he just gave it to me. And then I became Chris St. Clair, which was based on Tony St. Clair, the old World of Sport wrestler. Mm-hmm. And it was basically just me. It was just Chris going out and wrestling, Yeah. And then I met Gene Money. And he wasn't doing Gene Money at the time. He was doing his previous character, which was Johnny Lavelle. And I met up with him at a training school at the Lucha Britannia training school, the London School of Lucha Libre, which is the best training I've had in my career. By that point, I'd been wrestling and training for about 3 or 4 years, but that was where I really, really honed my skills and my craft, and learning from Greg Burridge there, it taught me a lot. And all the people they brought in, all the guest trainers they brought in, which was just amazing. And I met Gene Money there, and he was doing Johnny Lavelle, which was a bit of a posh boy gimmick. And so I linked, and we got on really well, and we hit it off. We became friends. So then we started tag teaming, and I became Christopher Lavelle, and he was Johnny Lavelle, and we did the Lavelle brothers, and we tagged for a little bit, and we did the posh boy thing, but it just wasn't me, It just didn't feel me. It didn't feel. I was putting on a fake accent. You know, you can hear me now. I'm a working class boy. I couldn't be any further away from posh or privileged or wealthy, so it always felt a little bit alien to me. And then I decided to take a break from wrestling for a bit, for various reasons. Some mental health, to be honest. I felt like I had to address that in my life before I could really focus on wrestling. So
yeah, definitely, I understand.
I took some time out, and then when I came back, that's when I started CJ Carter, and that was kind of, as I was saying earlier, like I went in that break between doing the Lavelle Brothers and coming back. I kind of, I struggled with my mental health in that period, and was quite bitter and resentful towards wrestling generally. I didn't feel like it had given me what I felt like I deserved, that kind of thing. And actually, wrestling owes us nothing, really, to be honest. And I work that out as I get older, and you've just got to work hard at it. And opportunities will come for some people, maybe not for others. Sometimes things aren't fair, but life's not fair. And but what I tried to do was tap into that kind of bitter, resentful, part of my life, and that dark period, and turn that into a character, and let that release that out in something, and get all the stress and pent up frustration out in a character. And it just became, the character then just became darker and darker and darker as it went on. So yeah, that's kind of that's the evolution, I guess, of how I got to where I am now. And actually, as I mentioned, I'm now trying to rein that in slightly. So it got quite dark and sinister and evil and a bit too gimmicky, but I'm trying to rein that in. But keep that part in there. It's part, it's part of me. Yeah. But I want it to be me. I don't want it to be just a character.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw G Money for the first time in August. And my girlfriend hadn't seen it before. She hadn't seen him on YouTube or anything. So at the time, she was like, what the fuck is this? When he was at the top of the stairs. But by the time he got to the ring, she knew his gimmick, his character. It was just like, I get it now.
He's an experience, man. He's more than just a wrestler. G Money is an experience. Yeah. He's like, the moment he comes through the curtain, he's just pure entertainment. He knows how to entertain a crowd. He's always known how to do that. His promos, even when I met him, were good. He's got so much charisma. You can't teach that stuff. No. It's just, he stands out. It doesn't matter what show you put him on or who's on the show with him. He stands out. Yeah.
Came down. She's like, I've got my big boy pants on. She's like, what is this gimmick? He's got a sailor hat on, the dog tags, and a fluffy waistcoat. I don't think she got it. But by the time he got to the ring, and she goes, it's just a really entertaining comedy-ish wrestler. And I was like, I think I said you love him. He's funny. But,
you can't not love him. You can't not. He just,
Yeah, and they had him against Scott Oberman, who's like the complete polar opposite to him. So it was a brilliant clash of styles. Great match.
This is the Dark Fruits Daddy, David Graham, and you are listening to Broken But Glorious.
All right, so you've joined us to promote Ignite Wrestling Pro Encore, 6th of March, 96 Shenley Road, Borehamwood. So what would the listeners expect from a Ignite show?
I'd hope they'd expect to come and see some amazing wrestling in the Hertfordshire area in Borehamwood. Borehamwood's my hometown, so the reason I started doing shows there was because I wanted to try and put something on for the local community, and I know there's wrestling fans in the area, and so that was the kind of original goal. But also, with Ignite, what I want it to be and what I'm trying to do with it, and I hope it comes across, is I want it to be a platform for people who are kind of just almost there. Do you know what I mean? Yes, they're breaking through, and people who are going to be some of the biggest stars in the entire country in the next 2 years, or maybe even the next year. But I really want to give that platform to people that aren't necessarily getting the opportunities everywhere at the moment, and then you've got a good mixture of guys who are kind of up there, like Warren Banks, and we had Gene Money on the first show, and we've got Charles Crowley. So we've got some people on there who are kind of there already. Yeah, but
they've recently been on Progress, haven't we, all three of them?
Exactly. But what I really want to do is give back to the fans with some great matches, and give back to the wrestlers with opportunities. And just put on a great show where everyone's going to have a good time, wrestlers and fans included. That that's the goal, really.
Cool. Is Ignite in any way a continuation of Clash?
It kind of is. So Clash was mine and Gene Money's promotion.
Yeah.
So like I said, I met him 2012 or 13 now, which seems like 5 years ago, but it's nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah.
That is nearly a decade ago. And we did the tag thing together, and we've been friends ever since. And so we decided to start our own promotion, and that was Clash, and we ran that for 2 years. And the idea with that was actually kind of quite similar. Was we were trying to bring in some people who weren't necessarily everywhere and give them a platform to show the country and everyone else, why they should be everywhere. And what's funny is, we managed to kind of do that with Sam Stoker, for example.
Yeah,
he's cool. We brought him. Yeah, and now look where he is. When he first started working for Clash, he was working at other places, but he wasn't the biggest star in the country. No. By the time he left, he was signed by WWE. So, and I could say the same about Carl Noir, who was our first champion at Clash, and he was just starting to bubble underneath at the time, but he wasn't the biggest star in the country, and now he is literally probably the biggest star in the country. Definitely. So, and that's what we're kind of trying to. That's what we're trying to do there, and then. Because Gene Money's career got so successful and blew up so big, he just could not devote the time to the promoting anymore. So he stepped aside, which was fine, and I completely understood that. But I wanted to carry on. I guess we ran Clash out Borehamwood as well, and it's my hometown. So it means a lot to me personally to keep wrestling in my hometown. So I carried it on, but it just didn't feel quite right keeping the Clash name when it wasn't me and Gene, because that was our thing together. It was our baby. We made it. If it wasn't both of us, then it just wasn't. It wasn't going to be Clash. So I decided to. I'm running it by myself now. I decided to rebrand it and kind of like reboot it and start again with Ignite. So it's kind of a continuation in a way. And we have got some people who've carried over, and we've got wrestlers like Dexter and Harry Mann. Well, Forrest Hayes now, previously Harry Mann. Who we kind of brought in at Clash, and we were kind of starting to try and build them up. And I'm using them at Ignite, and Warren Banks, who we used at Clash, who is for my money one of the best in the country.
Yeah, he's the champion at my local promotion, Wrestle Island.
Yeah,
it's been amazing watching his growth over the last 4 or 5 years.
I met him in 2017, and there's some people you just meet and you see them and you're just like, yeah, you're going to be a star. like immediately, you just know. I thought the same about Charles Crowley when I met him as well. I met him at one of his first ever training sessions. He'd done all the 5 minutes of wrestling, but the second there's certain people you just lock eyes on and you go, yeah, you're going to be a big, big star, because they just have it. People talk about it, and I think some people laugh like it's a bit cliche, but it's bloody true. Some people just have it, and you can't teach it, and it's just in some people. And Warren Banks and Charles Crowley are two for sure. And they're people that I'll be using and working with on Ignite. So sorry, long story for an answer. Yes, it is kind of a continuation of Clash. But I do actually one thing that I'm really proud of that I'm doing at Ignite is Powered 4 TV, sponsoring a match every show, which is the breakout division. And that is a division which I really want to bring in people who really aren't seen everywhere. People who are just at that kind of breaking in level, who and that's why it's called the breakout division. So that is so
is that going to be like an exclusive match on Power 4 TV?
Yeah,
like a free
exactly.
Match
yeah, it's exclusive to them. You can only see it on their platforms, and that's a division and their matches that I feel very, very passionately about and strongly about, because it's that really is a platform for people who need to break out. So
because I really like Smashing Mike, but I've not seen Mark True, unfortunately, but I do really like Smashing Mike.
Yeah, and that's exactly the point. Like, you might not I want to put people in those matches who everyone might not have seen. Who. Mark True's brilliant. He's actually starting to get about now as well, but mainly wrestles for WrestleForce. He has done some stuff here and there for Fight Nation, and I think he's worked for Purpose as well. But yeah, that's what that division's all about: getting the guys like Smashing Mike and Mark True, giving them a good platform and showing the country like this is the next crop of guys.
It says on the Facebook page that they'll battle out to advance to the final to earn a title shot. So is that the breaking out title, or is that the Ignite title?
No, that'd be the Ignite title. So the idea with it is we're going to run it'll be 4 matches. Winner of each match goes into a 4-way, which is the final, which will be at the end of this year in November. Winner of that 4-way becomes they win the breakout division, they get the break. We've got like a cup, they win the cup, and then they get a title shot at the Ignite Champion.
Amazing.
So, and we're starting the Ignite Championship qualifiers for that kind of tournament. It's a very small tournament. It's 2 semi-finals and a final. So we're starting that in March. So we've got 2 matches. The first has been announced already, which is Corey McRae against Warren Banks.
Yes.
And that match is actually sponsored by 1310 Apparel, because 1310 actually work with Corey McRae. So he's kind of like a sponsored athlete for them. So they've come on board, and they're great as well. And everyone should go and check out their website and everything that they do. And then so by May we'll have our first Ignite champion, and then by November we'll have our number 1 contender coming out of the breakout division.
And then probably this time next year they'll have the match against each other, or March.
That's it. Yeah. So the idea would be the first show of 2023, which seems like a lifetime away, but God, it will come around fast.
Yeah, but if you only have like four shows a year, it will fly. It's just...
Yeah, I'm hoping to get another one in. So currently we've got dates. We've got in March 6th, May 15th, September 4th, November 20th. I think that's right. But I'm trying to get another one in July. I mean, ideally I'd run 6. With Clash we ran 6. The problem was I couldn't get one in February, so I had to start in March, which kind of lost me a month. So it was always going to have to be probably 5, because I'd usually go every other month from February to December. And I just need to slot a July one in. We'll probably have 5 this year, to be honest.
Yeah, they just announced got Laura Di Matteo versus Tommy Kyle.
Yeah.
Tommy should be everywhere. He's brilliant. He's somebody I haven't seen live, but I love watching him on YouTube, and I've interviewed him before.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy Kyle. Yeah, he's great. I've known him for a little while now. We wrestled a few times at UBW. We wrestled on the first Ignite show as well. Just in the ring, bell to bell, there's very few better in the country. Technically, as a wrestler, he's just incredible.
Yes.
And Laura is as well. Laura had probably one of the best class matches we've ever had, which was her and Nina Samuels. And she's just an incredible wrestler. Those two will just, it'll be great. Their styles will work really well together.
Definitely. I'm guessing the winner of that will put themselves straight into like number 1 contendership-ish.
Yeah, they're both going to be up. They both will be up there for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the only match left is your match. So you're teaming up with Neo.
Me and Nino Bryant against the Rebellion. Yeah. So because Nino's also a Borehamwood boy, and so we've got two hometown guys against the Rebellion, who are probably one of the best tag teams in the country right now. They're currently winning multiple tag team championships. I believe they've got 3 at the moment. So
yes,
they got the RCWA tag titles, the World War tag titles, and they just won the EWA tag titles, I think, as well.
It should be a great show.
Yeah, so they're probably going to take about 10 years getting to the ring trying to carry all their belts. They got like 6 belts to bring to the ring, but
Well, going forward, are you going to be introducing like tag titles and a secondary title and women's title?
I think we'll get there. For sure we'll get there. I think next will probably be some kind of secondary title, and then we'll bring in some tag titles. I mean, initially I wanted to test the waters and just make sure that the fan base was still there, because we'd had a few years without wrestling in Borehamwood, and so I just wanted to take it slow. We only did one show last year, but it did well. So yeah, hopefully things will continue to do well. We'll keep putting on good shows. People will enjoy them, and then we can add in some more titles as we go.
Amazing. So it's Ignite Wrestling Pro Encore, 6th of March. Tickets will be in the description below the interview. You want to check it out?
Hey, good brothers, this is Sunset Skip, and you are listening to the Broken but Glorious podcast.
All right, so if you're a promoter for a day, promoting an event, so using wrestlers you've either worked with, trained with, wrestlers are associated to you in some way. If I give you a match type, you tell me who you put in that match.
And people that I've wrestled, they've got to be people that I've wrestled with, right?
Wrestled with, trained with, they're associated to you in some way. So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So as it's your card, you can make every match intergender, every match fatal 3-way, 4-way, 5-way. It's up to you. Throw a silly gimmick in if you want. Stipulation. So what would be your opening contest to get the crowd excited?
Cool. Opening contest. And I can have anyone I want, right? But I've got to have worked with them.
Yes.
I think opening contest would be a 4-way with a 4-way, because I like to start shows out like all guns blazing. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Get the crowd up, high flying. I think I'd go Joe Lando, Danny Black, Callum Newman, and Nino Bryant in a 4-way. We can have any kind of match we want. I want to make it.
Sure. Yeah.
I want them to be in an Ultimate X match. Ultimate X 4-way opens the show. Lando, Danny Black, Callum Newman, Nino Bryant.
Oh, amazing. I think I saw 3 of them in the match for Wrestle Carnival. I put the DVD.
And Mayhew was in that match.
Mayhew, yeah. I was trying to think who the 4th guy was. Yeah.
Those 4, they're great. But I had to throw Nino in because he's my hometown boy. He's from Borehamwood. I've got to get Nino in there.
Cool. What about a comedy style match?
Comedy style match. Okay. I think for that one, God, he's going to hate me for saying it. He's going to bloody hate me. But I'd put Gene Money in that straight away. He's so much more than a comedy wrestler. He is. He really is. He's one of the best in the country. But Christ, does he know how to entertain people? So I feel like I don't feel like anyone could do it better, to be honest. Mm-hmm. And who else would I have in that with him? It's got to be someone. Jerry Bakewell. I don't know if you know Jerry Bakewell.
Yes. I've not seen him live, but really,
he's just incredible. He's just incredible. I wrestled and trained with him at Lucha Britannia, and then we brought him in as our MC at Clash, and he actually ended up winning the Clash Championship in the very last show.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, Gene Money and Jerry Bakewell in that one.
Did you see at TNT they're going to have Gene Money versus Scotty Too Hottie and with Sasha Martino as a special referee? That's comedy gold.
Absolute perfect. I
just need to find 40 quid to go to it now. I think it's usually 25, but they're doing like a signing session with Scotty beforehand. So
meet and greet type thing.
Definitely. Just need to find money. Your women's title match.
Women's title match. I go Laura Di Matteo and Nina Samuels. They had one of the best matches I've ever seen live. And the two of the best women's wrestlers. Two of the best. Forget women's wrestlers. Two of the best wrestlers in the country.
Definitely.
So that's an easy one for me.
A mid-card title, workhorse title type match.
Okay, workhorse. I'm going to throw Tommy Kyle in there because for me, he's one of the best workhorses in the country right now.
He needs to break out.
Exactly.
Come to Northwest, I want to see you live.
Workhorse is definitely someone that when I think workhorse, I associate it straight with Tommy Kyle. And you know what? I wrestled him myself, so I'm going to throw it in. I'm going to put Haskins in there. So Haskins and Tommy Kyle, and I know Haskins is not a mid card guy, but those two, as workhorses go, would they'd kill it, and you could elevate Tommy as well, put him to the next level. So
definitely. And a hardcore extreme rules style match, you can make it as hardcore as you want. You can put it up to death match if you desperately want to.
Death match. I don't mind watching the odd death match. You wouldn't catch me in one though. You wouldn't catch me in one. I don't mind hardcore matches. I don't mind blunt objects, ladders, chairs, tables, things that are like solid. I don't want to be dealing with glass.
No. I don't get it. I don't see why anyone would want to be a deathmatch wrestler. It just doesn't appeal.
Well, there's definitely a market out there for there, isn't there? People do enjoy it. So people I've wrestled with, or been on shows with, or been around. So I guess Big Joe's got to be in there.
Yes.
As deathmatch wrestlers go, he's probably the best around, right? So, and I'm going to throw Xander in there as well because. I don't even know if he wants to do death matches, to be honest, but he loves a hardcore match. I know Xander. I absolutely know Xander loves a hardcore match, and to be honest, I reckon he'd probably do a death match. And he's great. I've had 2 good hardcore matches with Xander, so I'm going to go Big Joe and Xander. It's my show, right? He's got to do his told.
Definitely. TNT do death match tournaments, and some of the matches are chairs and drawing pins. No. Barbed wire and tables, no. Fans bring their own weapons, no. 2 out of 3 panes of glass, no. No. I'll go tax. You want to throw some tax in? I'll go tax. Draw the line after that. That's as far as it goes. if your opponent went under the ring and pulled out a bag, would you like it to be tax or Lego? That you'd have to.
I've done the Lego. Me and Xander used Lego in our hardcore match. Actually, it was all right. It wasn't that bad actually. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It left a few Lego marks on my body for a while though, like little imprints of the Lego.
I'm surprised how many people go for tax. I think I just don't like. I don't like the idea of being pierced, so I'd probably go for Lego as well. But
I'll go Lego.
Yeah. Yeah. So your tag team title match?
Tag team title match. Gonna have to be. I'll go people I have wrestled with. I'm gonna go Rebellion and the Lads.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Have you seen the Lads?
I've seen one of them. I can't remember what are the names again. I forgot.
We got Alex and Ben. Alex Echo and Ben Jones. I'm not sure Ben Jones.
No. I'm thinking of somebody else.
But they're great. They wrestle at DNA a lot. And at Jurassic Pro at the moment. Obviously that's their promotion. So shout out to Jurassic Pro. It's a great promotion. Love working there. But the Lads are great. They just know how to entertain, and they can go in the ring as well. So yeah,
amazing. No, I was thinking of somebody else. I think he just had a lad gimmick. Then it's your main event, so your title match.
Main event. Okay, I'm going to go 2 people that I've wrestled a long time ago for both of them actually, but Will Ospreay and Pete Dunne. I'm going to go main event.
Wow.
That just you can't get much better than that, right? Probably 2 best British wrestlers in the world right now. I don't know.
I would agree with you. Yeah, I think Pete Dunne's been doing dark matches with SmackDown, so it looks like he's going up to SmackDown soon. Yeah,
I think anyone who's not been released from NXT seems to be going that way, don't they? So, and he's too good to not be there. So,
I think they made Smash Ciampa dye his beard brown again.
Yeah, I saw that. I can't be having no grey in the beard. They did the same to Edge as well, didn't they? They made Edge dye his beard as well.
I loved his rugged. He looked like Logan in that film, the Wolverine in that last film where he just haggard and old and rugged. He looked amazing. Then when he came back in 2020, now he's just starting to look a bit like Edge.
Vince don't want that though, does he? He doesn't want his wrestlers looking old. People don't age, god damn it. They don't age. You need to look like you're in the prime forever. Okay.
Oh, Will Ospreay versus Pete Dunne, that'd be an amazing main event.
How's that? Was that an all right show? I don't know. Is that,
That's really amazing.
I'd watch it.
I'd love to watch that shit. Oh, that's amazing. I'd love to watch that shit.
Yeah, if I ever win the lottery, I'll book it.
Right, so where can people see you in the near future? Where else can people see you?
So I've got obviously, like I said, RCWA coming up tomorrow, and then I've got United Wrestling coming up on the 12th of February, which is in Oxford. Apex Wrestling on the 13th. Got DNA, big DNA coming up. Big DNA show coming up on the 19th of February. It's their anniversary show. Absolutely stacked. I'm wrestling Robbie X on that, which is going to be incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I was meant to see him live for the first time at TNT. Again, and Mark Haskins came out, so I was like, first time seeing Mark Haskins, first time Robbie X. He got injured within the first 2 minutes, and Robbie X had to. Man. So they brought LJ Clary out. He's a brilliant wrestler, but it wasn't. Yeah. Robbie X versus Mark Haskins. Which was
good. I mean, that is a main event anywhere in the country, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, just a random. And Mark Haskins was a replacement. I can't remember who he replaced. It was meant to be Robbie X. It was meant to be Robbie X versus Scotty Rourke for the Ultra X Championship, but I think Scotty got COVID. So it was Robbie X versus question mark and turned out to be Mark Haskins. So
that's not a bad fill-in, is it? Not a bad replacement. So yeah, that's a huge match personally for me. It's a big show for DNA, February 19th. Art of Combat's another big one, March the 5th. Tom Farewell, like I said.
That should be good. It's good.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of shows coming up. I've got, my year's pretty booked up, to be honest. But yeah, and then we got DOA is going to be starting to run their shows again in March. March the 26th is their first one. And check out Jurassic Pro as well. Unfortunately, I can't do their first show of the year because I'm booked elsewhere. But February 13th, check out Jurassic Pro because I love those boys and they put on a good show.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about Jurassic Pro. So, do you want to promote your social media for me?
Yeah, sure. Well, if you want to check out Ignite Wrestling Pro, it's exactly that on Facebook, Ignite Wrestling Pro. CJ Carter is CJ Carter Wrestling on Facebook. And let me just dig out. Here we go. So CJ Carter Wrestling on Facebook, CJ Carter 2017 on Instagram, and CJ Carter _87 on Twitter. Search Ignite Wrestling Pro on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Check us out.
Cool. I'll put links in the description below the interview. So I've really enjoyed speaking to you, so I'd love to have you on again in the future. So.
I'd love that. Yeah. Hopefully it's entertaining for everyone. It's
a lot of fun.